Hello and welcome to another edition of Hughes the World. A bit of a special edition today, going out on a Monday evening because I've got to catch up. I'm up to episode 30 and I'll be doing episode 31 later this week, which will be Canada. I thought it was Cape Verde and I forgot about Canada. I'm so sorry, people of Canada, for forgetting about you, but I will make up for it. I'll make up for it when we do the show on Thursday, which might be a little bit earlier than usual because I won't be in Durham, I'll be in Liverpool. So just so you know that if you are planning to watch on Thursday, really please just subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification. This isn't a ploy just to get myself more subscribers. It's just, it'll let you know when I go live the first time, and then you never know, I might go live again a few minutes later after my computer is rebooted, because it's just giving me the blue screen of death, which is what my computer did just as I was getting ready for the show today. Big hello to everyone watching. We've got Patrick McCarthy there. We've got Duke Vengeance. We've also got Pineapple Boy saying, I thought I'd be late, but I'm not. Gwyneth saying, I just found you, and it's crashed. Bother. Well, this one hasn't crashed. This should be okay. But I'll have to go back afterwards and delete the what was it, the 10 minutes of just the loading screen. It's like playing an old Specky game, this, isn't it? You got to load Graham up, so you get to play the game for an hour. Anyway, so Veg Pie is saying hi, and Patrick is saying hi, Veg Pie back. Duke Vengeance is saying, I was in the bowels of my island underground tinkering away with devices when I received a clarion call. I'm guessing that's your YouTube notification. Great. Graham's laptop Brexiters. Yes, the blue screen of Brexit death. To get that on these darkening evenings, I console myself with my graphite collection, says Patrick. And Jürgen says, good evening. Good evening, Jürgen. Hello, everybody. So tonight we're going to be talking about the West African or the Central African country of Cameroon. It's kind of West Central African country of Cameroon. And I was just checking out how much footage I've got from Cameroon. I've got full 2 hours, no more than 2 hours worth of footage from Cameroon. So we'll be going through that later in the show, and I will be whizzing through it. I'll try not to bore you too much, but I do have a lot of footage of Cameroon. Spent quite a bit of time there, and the reasons I spent so much time in Cameroon will become apparent, A, when I show you the map, B, when I show you the footage of me in Cameroon. Okay, so Cameroon is, yes, another example of colonial powers creating a country with no regard for tribal identities, linguistics, history, culture. No. It's just what the Germans, the British and the French just divvied up amongst themselves in a conference in Berlin in the 1880s. So what parts of what is now Cameroon were divided and ceded between these European countries throughout the colonial era until the modern boundaries were established in 1961 and have been causing problems ever since. So now we have a country that is part Anglophone, part Francophone. And yes, it's gone down as well as you might imagine, a country that is part Anglophone and part Francophone, where the Francophone people are in the absolute majority and the Anglophone people are not, and the Anglophone people feel like they are being discriminated against. Something we'll come to later in this edition of Hughes the World. I'm Graham Hughes, first person to visit every country in the world without flying, and I've got the footage to prove it. So you will see some of that later in the show. The population of Cameroon is about 25 million, 25.8 million in 2019. So it's gone up a little bit since then. The GDP per capita, very much like Cambodia was yesterday, is just $1,507 a year. That's a 2019 figure. Not very much. Not very much. That's per person. That's how much people can think they're going to earn in a given year. I hate earning that kind of sum of money. And if you would like to give me a super chat, that will give me a little bit of a boost, so I don't have to send highly embarrassing tax returns to HMRC later this year, as I normally do. Anyway, so I'm just getting messages. I thought that was important, but it wasn't. So anyway, what was I talking about? HMRC. Nothing to do with Cameroon. So the currency they have there is a Central African CFA, the CFA franc, which used to be pegged to the French franc, and now it's pegged to the euro. So when the euro goes up, the Central African CFA goes up, and when it goes down, it goes down. It's also analogous, and it's also similar to the West African safer, which is pretty much the same, but it's a different currency. So you can use the West African safer in places like Burkina Faso and Togo and Benin, and you can use the Central African safer in places like Cameroon and Gabon and not Congo. I don't think you can use it in Congo. I think Congo have got their own money. I'll have to investigate. No, they must use safer. I think they use safer in Congo as well, but Democratic Republic of Congo used a different currency. In fact, a lot of the old French countries used the safer, whereas the old British colonies like Ghana and Nigeria use their own currency. They have the Ghanaian money, and there's Nigerian money as well. Bonsoir, says Richard Prosser. Panel Boy saying, is there such a word as a germophone? Sounds unhygienic. I think it'd be Deutsch, a Deutsch phone. A lusophone. A lusophone is someone who speaks Portuguese, apparently. £4 from Ali Akbar. Well, $3.99, I should say. Why not use the euro directly? Demarcation, mate. Demarcation. I don't know. In Panama, they use the Balboa, and it's worth $1, and so everyone just uses dollars. But you do have Balboa coins, which are worth $1. And seriously, I absolutely hate the US dollar. I hate it as a currency. I like getting them off Akbar there, thank you very much. But as a currency, as a paper money, it sucks for two main reasons. One is all the notes are the same size. So a $100 bill is the same size as a $1 bill, which is, I don't know, just there to troll the blind, I guess, but also fuck over other people who are just trying to, make ends meet. And all the money looks the same color to me. It's not like lots of different colors, like most currencies. It's quite obvious, even if you're a bit colorblind. But the main thing that annoys me about US dollars is the $1 bill is only worth about, 70, 80p. And as a result, those dollar bills get absolutely trashed and crinkled up and filthy. And you end up with a filthy wad of $1 bills in your pocket. Do away with them. Bring in the dollar coin, which I've got some dollar coins in this table somewhere. I've also got a $2 bill, which has Jefferson on it somewhere. But yes, I thought that was it. But that's the currency of Eritrea. But yes, they don't use coins in America. They have got dollar coins, and they feature different presidents on the back of them. But they never really took off. I thought, firstly, that it would be about our previous Prime Minister, Cameroon. No, this is about Cameroon, the country of Cameroon. In Central West Africa. So the main export of Cameroon, if you're interested, 40% of the export is oil. We'll talk a little bit about the oil pipelines in a moment. But the flag here is the Pan-African colours. It's got a star in the middle. There used to be 2 stars to represent the Francophone area and the Anglophone area. And then they changed it to 1 star. Obviously upsetting the Anglophones. And this has gone on so much. So the actual flag is a bone of contention for some of the people who live in Cameroon. £2 super chat, woo, from Pineapple Boy. Hypothetical Afro common currency could debut in 2023. Yes, maybe not all of Africa, but that's certainly something I know that some currencies, some countries are thinking of doing, is to bring in a currency, shared currency, a la the euro, but without being pegged to what's going on in Europe, which isn't. It's the loss of control, isn't it? You don't get to control your own rates. But then again, if you're sharing a currency across many countries, you have to have a central bank for them. It's quite complex. But the AU, the African Union, does model itself quite largely on the EU. So yeah, maybe they'll go down that route. I don't think it'll debut in 2 years' time, though. It's a bit quick for me. Okay, the religion of Cameroon, mostly Christian. 40% are Roman Catholic, with 28% being Protestant, and then Islam makes up about 20% of the population, mostly in the north, and atheism or agnosticism makes up 4.6%, apparently. Cricket, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you for the history lessons. So thank you, Cricket, for watching on this glorious Monday afternoon, because it's the afternoon over there. You're in Phoenix, aren't you? So yes, Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, so moving swiftly on demographics. So there's the Western. There's basically 5 groups of people. There's the Western Highlanders, who are the semi-Bantu or grassfielders. They include the Bamileki, the Bamum, and many smaller Tikar groups in the northwest, and they account for about 38% of the total population. Then you've got the coastal tropical forest peoples. They include the Bassa, the Douala, it's also the town of the city of Douala is named after them, and many smaller groups in the southwest. They comprise about 12% of the population. You've got the southern tropical forest peoples, including the Beti Pa Huin, the Bulu, and the Fang, and the Maka, the Nijem, and the Baka Pygmies, who are fantastic yodelers. I know you think I'm joking, but I'm not. They are fantastic yodelers. They sing like this yodeling, and it's absolutely freaking awesome. Although, having met a few Pygmies while I was in both Nigeria and Cameroon, I have to say that they made a bit of a cock-up in The Lord of the Rings, because the little people in Lord of the Rings, the hobbits, they weren't dwarves, they were hobbits, and they were just basically small people, weren't they? Well, if you're a small person, like a child, it means that your vocal cords are smaller or whatever, the less long, and it means that your voice is usually quite high-pitched, like this, so when you're talking, it can sound a lot like you've been chugging helium. But I don't think that would have gone down so well in The Lord of the Rings. It would have sounded a bit not as dramatic, you know. I can't carry it, but I can carry you. Oh, it doesn't work. All right, anyway, I can't do it very well because I've got a sore throat at the moment. But Pygmies are loveliest people you could ever hope to meet. Wonderful, wonderful people. Predominantly Islamic peoples of the northern semi-arid desert regions, the Sahel and the Central Highlands, including the Fulani. And then finally you have the Kurdi, who are the non-Islamic or recently Islamic peoples of the northern desert and central highlands. There's about 18% of the populations. Cameroonian Highlanders sound cool. There can be only one. Well, in the country of Malaysia, you will find the Cameroon Highlands. Banding together in economic or physical blocks makes sense to me, unless you're trapped in an imperial past. Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is you'd want some level of control. Like, the countries of the Eurozone have some level of control over what happens with the Euro, whereas if you're using the Euro or something pegged to the Euro and you're not part of the Eurozone, you don't really get any say whatsoever. So it's a little bit of sovereignty, I guess, to use that much overused word that Brexiteers like to use far too much. Anyway, so moving on. Languages. There's about 1,700 different linguistic groups in the country, and 230 other languages are spoken in the region apart from the main two, French and English. The food is pretty African, but if you go to Yaoundé, the capital, go to Calafata's bakery, oh my god, it's like the greatest patisserie in the universe. It's amazing. Please check it out. Go and get some delicious croissants. The French left something good behind. They left a really, really good bakery in the capital. If you ever find yourself in the capital of Cameroon, please check out the Catafata's bakery. I seriously recommend it. I could eat everything in there twice over. Okay, so visa regulations for getting into Cameroon. And don't forget, the Americans seem to think that Cameroon is a particularly dangerous country, so they try and discourage people from going there. But it seems that the Cameroonians, they discourage people themselves. To get a visa, you need a passport valid for at least 6 months. You need 2 completed application forms. 2, not 1. You need 2 clear passport-sized photos taken frontally. I'm glad they stipulate this on the website, because otherwise you might have taken a picture of your back. I suppose you take a picture on your side. Anyway, so a stamped self-addressed envelope if you require the visa to be posted back to you, which will cost you an extra 30 quid on top of the fee, which is pretty whopping to start with. A legalised letter of invitation with the Cameroon police from either the host contact partner in Cameroon, accompanied by a legalised copy of the Cameroonian national identity card or residence permit. Yes, you have to be invited into the country to get into Cameroon. It's a real bitch. I don't think Cameroon want too many tourists. I don't think they're big on tourists. We're going to learn this as we go on. But yeah, tourism isn't a big thing in Cameroon. It never has been. I don't think it ever will be the way things go. You need a return of a continuation ticket. You need a bank statement with at least £1,000 in your bank account. You need travel insurance. You need a valid polio vaccination certificate. Yes, you do. You also need a marriage certificate for mixed couple and a letter from a Cameroonian partner. So if you are married, you have to take your marriage certificate with you in order to travel with someone of the opposite sex. And if you want to take a child with you, you have to take the child's birth certificate. That's it. The child's birth certificate means you're on holiday to Cameroon. Yes, why would you bother? You wouldn't, obviously, because I don't think Cameroon wants tourists. So I'm not going to be too kind to Cameroon, I don't think, because when I was there, my God, I just got tapped so many times for bribes. It made me weep. And to be honest with you, I just come out of Nigeria, where I was expecting it a lot more, and actually suffered it a lot less. And then I got to Cameroon, wasn't expecting it at all, because people didn't really warn me as much about Cameroon. But oh my God, once I got there, I was like, shit. And everyone I've met who has been to Cameroon in the last sort of 10, 20 years, and we've spoken about this, and I said, well, what about the Cameroons? You know, the way the Cameroonian police just want bribes off you all the time. All the freaking time. They said, yeah, that happened to them as well. And it's really a bit shit. And I've got some friends who are actually Cameroonian, and they're really fucking embarrassed about the way that the police is so endemically corrupt, and every official just wants money off you all the freaking time. By the way, for your visa, if you want 1 day to 3 months, if you want to go for a 1 day, it's £110 in London for your visa. That's on top of the £30 as well that you'll pay if you want your passport posted back to you. If you want 1 day to 6 months, it's £220. So if you want to spend 6 months in Cameroon, it's going to cost you 250 big ones if you want your passport posted back to you. You also need a compulsory polio vaccination. You also need a compulsory yellow fever vaccination. If you're coming from a cholera-prone area, you have to have a vaccination against cholera as well. It's funny how all these anti-vaxxer twats are saying, oh, you can't vax me because it will stop my freedom. Whereas actually, I got all of my jabs before I went to every country in the world. And as a result, I had more freedom than pretty much any other human being on the planet, because I managed to do something that no one else has done so far, visit them all without flying. And yes, a lot of that time that I spent traveling the world was spent filling out forms trying to get visas. So places like Cameroon that really didn't want me to visit. And when I did visit, they didn't make my life particularly easy, to put it mildly. Anyway, so they also recommended typhoid, not recommended typhoid, I mean a typhoid vaccination, meningitis vaccination, and also malaria protection. There's no vaccination against malaria yet. There's promising studies, but no vaccinations yet, as far as I know. Right, let's go to the map, and we will have a look what we can see of my map of the world here. Oh, if it would just appear. Can you appear? Can you appear on my screen, please? Hello? This is because I had to redo everything once my computer crashed. I had to open up all my files again. Anyway, so that is a country. No, that's the world actually. Hello planet Earth. There it is, looking lovely. And if I zoom in here on Africa, you can see Cameroon, and it's nicely outlined by Google. And you can see it looks a bit like, I don't know, like a peacock maybe, or the beak there. And then it's got its feathers about to come out the back. You can imagine the feathers around the peacock here. I don't know. Anyway, so what do you need to know? The capital is Yaoundé, which is here. Douala is another big city, and it's based on the water there. So a lot of boats leave from Douala if you want to get to Equatorial Guinea. See this island here? This is not part of Cameroon. This is part of Equatorial Guinea, which is down here. In fact, the capital of Equatorial Guinea, Malabo, is just there. So yes, but strangely difficult to get from Douala to there. If I don't think there's any ferry boats that do that run. Now, what's really interesting about Cameroon is it's kind of it's a weird country, isn't it? Because it's this weird shape because of the European powers carving it out, basically. When the Germans were there, the size of Cameroon grew, and it spread into what's now Chad, Central African Republic, into the Republic of Congo, and down into what's now Gabon down here, and it spread into what's now Nigeria. When the Germans lost the First World War, they lost all of their colonial possessions. Cameroon was split between the British and the French. This area here, so if you draw an imaginary line from this corner down to just above Douala. Okay, so cut that off. This whole area here up to here, this was all Francophone, so French speaking. It's all given to the French. And then this area here, and then a little bit more of this area up to here. See, it looks like a chunk's been taken out. If you look closely at the top here, you could draw an imaginary line down there, yeah? So this was known as Northern and Southern Cameroons, and that was a British administered area. And in 1961 they had a meeting, and they had a referendum, and each of the areas decided whether they wanted to join Nigeria or whether they wanted to join Cameroon. These areas up here, northern Cameroons, they joined Nigeria because they were majority English speaking, and that made sense to them. And then the area down here voted to join Cameroon, which made sense at the time, except for the fact that it's caused a lot of problems ever since, not least because they speak English, they speak French, and the English speakers always feel discriminated against. If I zoom in a little bit to just over the little island here. Over here, we have Mount Cameroon, I hope, unless I'm going to look like a tit now. But no, there it is. Mount Cameroon. This is an active volcano. It's over 4,000 meters high. And yes, it's an active volcano. It last erupted in flamey death in 2012. Also in Cameroon, there's a lake of death as well, an exploding lake, which if you are there on a particular day when a big bubble of CO2 rises from under the crust into this lake and then pops out the top, you will suffocate to death, as occasionally thousands of people and animals do who live around this lake. It's a bit dangerous. Glasgow Kiss is there. Hi Glasgow, how you doing, mate? Bayerberg saying morning. It's confusing me with time. With all those jabs, you must look like a pincushion. They don't leave the needles in, you know. Cameroon, the national football team, did tourney around all major tournaments around 20 years ago. I remember Cameroon doing really well in the 1990 Italia World Cup, I think. Do you remember that? I remember that. Anyway, what I don't remember is 1472. But an important year in the history of Cameroon, because that is the year that Portuguese explorers sailed up the Wouri River, and easy for you to say, the Wouri River, and named it Rio dos Camarones. I'm probably saying that wrong. Camarones, basically the river of prawns, and the name stuck. So basically, the name of Cameroon means river of prawns. Lake of Death. Well to go. Yeah. Cake or death? Lake or death? Lake and death. Soon after the Portuguese had arrived by sea, the Fulani pastoral nomads from what is now Nigeria began to migrate overland from the north, forcing the indigenous forest people southwards. The indigenous forest people included pygmies, who were forest dwellers for thousands of years. The Fulani migration took on an added urgency in the early 17th century as they fled the increasingly predatory antics of the Dutch, the British, and the Portuguese slave traders, who were making vast fortunes by enslaving Africans and sailing them across the Atlantic Ocean to a lifetime of servitude, slavery. And it's pretty grim. And we should not forget that we did that. Good. In 1884, as I mentioned earlier, the British influence in the area was curtailed when Germany signed a treaty with the well-organised chiefdoms of Douala and central Bamum Plateau. Although the local inhabitants, the agreement meant little more than a shift from one colonial master to the other, one colonial bit of exploitation to the other. After World War I, as I explained, the German protectorate of Cameroon, as it was known, was carved up between France and Great Britain. Then in the 1950s, local revolts in French-controlled Cameroon in the 1950s were brutally suppressed. But the momentum throughout Africa for throwing off the shackles of colonialism soon took hold, and self-government was granted in French Cameroon in 1958, quickly followed by independence on the 1st of January 1960. Amadou Ahidjo. God, I'll say these names. Right, let's start again. Tick. Ahmadou Ahidjo one of the the leader of one of the independence parties, became president of the newly independent state, a position that he held until his resignation in 1982. Ahidjo, a man with total lack of charisma, ensured his longevity through cultivation of expedient alliances, brutal repression, and wily, but unfortunately quite authoritarian regional favoritism. So he looked after his own, to the detriment of people who weren't his tribe, or people who weren't his people. In 1972, the federal structure of the two Cameroons was replaced by a centralised United Republic of Cameroon, in a move that is bitterly resented to this day. So this is the point where you had the ex-British-speaking Cameroon, which was known as Southern Cameroon, even though when I was showing Catherine the map earlier, I was like, listen, this is crazy. She said, it's not even in the south, it's in the west. And I'm like, yeah, it is in the west, but it's called Southern Cameroons. That's what they just called it. I don't know. It was southern of the other one that they had. But obviously, it makes no sense. Anyway, but that area, and they were supposed to have this federal system set up so that they got to have a lot of autonomy over what they did in their own area. But the central government, the central francophone government in Yaoundé, the capital, said, no, not doing that, like. And so it got centralised to the United Republic of Cameroon, and the two stars on the flag became one, which wasn't as great as when the Spice Girls sung it for a Christmas number one many moons ago. So basically, the Anglophone Cameroonians believe that this entering this union made them second-class citizens, and that has been an attitude that hasn't lost any momentum, especially not in recent years. In 1982, Ahidjo's hand-picked successor, a guy called Paul Biya, which is easy to remember, it's B-I-Y-A, Biya, distanced himself from his other mentor, but adopted many of Ahidjo's repressive measures, clamping down hard on calls for multi-party democracy, etc. Divisions, such as the national soccer team, such as the national football team. Their stunning performance in the aforementioned 1990 World Cup brought him a little bit of time, but demands for freedom didn't go away. However, this guy, Paul Biya, he took over in 1982. I'm just going to cut to the chase here. Spoilers. He's still in charge today. He's still the president today. Okay, so he's one of the longest serving presidents in the world right now. And he's still in power and doesn't look like he's going anywhere particularly soon by the looks of things. Diamond Geezer says Glasgow Kiss. Peter says, I just read that Polish wanted to colonize Cameroon. Poland was under Germany, and then one Polish explorer, Stefan Szlok-Rogonowicz, I'm saying that probably wrong, Rogonski, don't know where I got the Ivich from at the end there, but Rogonski made Bismarck very angry. That was always fun, making Bismarck very angry. Anyway, so by 1990, the demands for change have become quite shrill, and basically, he was forced to legalize opposition parties, and 25 of them were legalized, and it became apparent that when it became apparent that no, not going to be able to say that. When it became apparent that letting other people have their political will encapsulated in a political party would stop him being president at some point, he decided to suspend these parties along with the constitution. Although in 1992, the first multi-party elections in 25 years were grudgingly held, and the Cameroonian Democratic People's Movement, led by Biya, held on to power by the support of some minority parties. International observers alleged widespread vote rigging and intimidation. Allegations repeated in elections in 1999, 2004, 2011, and 2017. Go Cameroon! In 2011, the incumbent president, Paul Biya, was elected for another 7-year term following a 2008 constitutional amendment That, and say it with me, removed term limits. You know, it's what all dictators do. They say, I'm only going to stay here. I'm only going to stay here for a little bit. Just going to fix the place up, and then we're golden. And then the reality sets in that they might not be president anymore. And in a lot of cases, being president offers you immunity from prosecution. So it's in your best interest to stay president for as long as possible, because you don't want to be prosecuted for war crimes that you may have committed while being president. You see, that's why people hang on to being president by the skin of their teeth, by their fingernails, and until the UN gets its arse into gear and takes away all diplomatic immunity, because diplomatic immunity shouldn't be a thing, no one should be above the law, then this will continue. This kind of shit will continue, because people will be like, I don't want to go to jail. Why would you want to go to jail? I'm going to stay prime minister. I'm going to stay president. I'm going to stay king. I'm going to change the constitution so I can stay king forever, like Putin. Wow, Alex Morgan has sent a £24 super chat. Thank you very much. By far some of the best content on YouTube right now by Zimbabwe. You should be BAFTA award winning. Your dedication to the platform is crazy. Thank you very much, Alex. I really appreciate that. And well done on the quiz last night. I felt like you won. I think a lot of us thought you won. Maybe I was just shouting a bit louder than everybody else. I had a couple of beers, obviously. Okay, so in 2018, just a few years ago, Paul Biya was elected for another seven-year term, beating rival Maurice Kamto out of the Cameroon resistance movement, 71% to 14%. But the year before, in 2017, frustration at being treated as treated like second-class citizens boiled over into out-and-out conflict in the area that used to be southern Cameroon's British Cameroon, the Anglophone part of Cameroon, and they kind of declared they've already declared their own independent secessionist area of state. They want it to be an independent state, which is called Ambazonia, which is what they want to call their newly formed country, nestled in between Nigeria and Cameroon. Funnily enough, next door to Biafra, which between 1967 and 1970 tried to break away from the rest of Nigeria and become an independent state of Biafra. And they were unsuccessful at doing that. And I don't hold out much hope, unfortunately, for the people of Ambazonia. What a great name. Of Ambazonia ever becoming an independent country anytime soon, because the days when an amicable agreement could have been reached and there could have been more devolution, there could have been more powers given to the region and have it still want to stay part of Cameroon but just have a little bit more power. Those days are gone. Those days are long gone. In 2019, in January, Maurice Kamto, who was beaten by Biya again in the 2018 election, Kamto and 200 of his supporters were arrested and put in jail, in a maximum security jail in Yaoundé, in the capital, and he was freed in October that year, along with other leaders of his party, and a day after the end of the major national dialogue, or whatever it was called, by Paul Biya, who seems to spend much more of his time in France schmoozing with people than he does actually looking after his own country. This is a huge problem. Look, in 2020, in October last year, a school was attacked and a number of children were killed, and an attack strongly condemned by the UN. 3,000 people have known to have died in the conflict since 2017, since it all really flared up. Child soldiers are being used by the separatists in horrible echoes of what happened in Sierra Leone. And also there are many accusations of atrocities being committed by the government. And so there's no heroes here. By the looks of things, and like I say, they could have found they could have found a solution a few decades ago, or a couple of decades ago, or even 10 years ago, to be honest with you. But now the battle lines have been drawn, and it doesn't look like the fighting is going to stop anytime soon. Cameroon today, what can I say? The international anti-corruption group, Transparency International, constantly ranks Cameroon as one of the world's most corrupt countries. And having been there, I don't disagree with that for a moment. The phenomenon affects every aspect of daily life. dealing with petty government officials to the rampant destruction of the country's rainforests by logging interests and kickbacks from the oil pipeline that was built from Chad to Kribi, on the coast in Cameroon. And until this situation is seriously addressed by its often absentee president, Paul Biya, who just seems to prefer to spend most of his time, like I say, shopping in France or hanging out with French presidents and getting photos with French presidents, Cameron's going to limp along for the foreseeable future. Pineapple Boy said, I thought Cameroon would be a happy episode. Well, do you know what? Right. I thought when I was prepping for this, I thought, well, when I was there, it was all right. It was always seen as there's Cameroon. It's sandwiched in between Nigeria, Chad, Central African Republic, the Republic of Congo, Gabon and Equatorial Guinea. And yet it's always seemed rather peaceful. Maybe it's kind of like the Switzerland of West Africa, West Central Africa. But actually, that may have been the case when I was there 10 years ago, but it's certainly not the case today. And with this growing insurgency in Ambazonia, or the old Southern Cameroons district, I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel just yet. And I really hope that the UN, instead of just condemning attacks, actually step in, and the AU step in and get the people who need to sit around the table and talk, sitting around the table and talking. But as with a lot of the conflicts with separatists around the world, you always have the situation where you have an area of a country, you always typically have an area of a country that's a minority. It might be a minority religion, like in Kosovo, which used to be part of Serbia, or it might be a different linguistic group, like in this case in Cameroon. And as a result of that, those people, because they're in a minority, feel put upon. They feel like they're being discriminated against. And that feeling is not helped when they are being discriminated against, as the people of Kosovo were being discriminated against, and as ethnic Albanians, which is a bit weird because, whisper it softly, Kosovo used to be part of Albania. So it makes sense that there's lots of ethnic Albanians there, since it literally used to be part of Albania. But yeah, we haven't got on about Serbia tonight. I'll do that on the Serbia episode, shall we? But yeah, it's a situation that is an artificial conflict that has been foisted on people. I suppose all conflicts are artificial to some extent, but this wasn't a conflict that was heralded. Is that the right word? Heralded? It wasn't, what's the right word? Conceived. There you go. It wasn't conceived by the people who lived there. It's a conflict that was created by the colonial powers, because they said, oh, this bit's Britain, this bit's France. And so we're going to have this area, they're going to speak English, this bit, they're going to speak French. Setting up problems, big problems for the future. And it's not just in Ambazonia where they're having problems at the moment. They're also having problems, big problems in the north of the country. Now, when I went there 10 years ago, I couldn't cross the border. God, 12 years ago now, Jesus. I couldn't cross the border into Cameroon from northeast Nigeria, which was my original plan, because I knew that the southern crossing was a bit difficult, to say the least, because about a week before I crossed over, Boko Haram committed their first atrocity. They committed an attack which killed dozens of people in the city, I think, of Madurai, I think, in the very northeast corner of Nigeria. And as a result, I changed my itinerary accordingly. But Boko Haram, which translates to literally Western education is forbidden, have strayed across the border into Cameroon, and as a result of that, there's hassle going on, heartache, brutal attacks going on in the very north of the country as well, which is heartbreaking. Again, Boko Haram, when they did that original attack back in 2009, I think it was in, when would it be? maybe August, I think, 2009. I'll have to look it up. I think that they didn't have the name. They didn't have the name then. It was actually only afterwards where they said, "Who are you people?" And they said, "We're called Western Education is Forbidden." That's not a very cool name. Why don't you call yourself Boko Haram? Because that would sound like the people who sang Nights in White Satin. Alex Morgan, are we doing another geography quiz tonight? I'll get my atlas out and start doing some research. Well, I haven't prepped for one, but I've got some Trivial Pursuit questions. I could just ask all of the geography questions out of the Trivial Pursuit. But yes, Cameroon as a country is incredibly diverse. It's got mountain ranges, it's got tropical rainforests, it's got a freaking desert. It's all of Africa in one. They call it the hinge of Africa. There's thermal springs throughout the country. Like I say, there's an active volcano with Mount Cameroon, and also it's one of the wettest places on Earth. It's about the size of Morocco if you don't include Western Sahara. Its actual size is 475,000 kilometers squared. So it's about twice the size of Oregon, if you know the size of Oregon. So now we're going to come to the part of the show where I regale you with my story of my journey around the world. Now, I hope very much that I don't get done for copyright here. I might do. You never know, because you know, basically, it could happen. It could happen. I sold this footage to Lonely Planet, and so I don't know if I can get away with saying, well, do you know what? It's fine because I'm reviewing it. I'm reviewing the footage. It's fair use. So I'm just going to let it run a little bit. You'll see I'm just crossing over the border here from Nigeria into Cameroon, and you'll see the state of the roads. They're pretty grim. So let's. Oh, actually, do you know what? I'm going to reverse a little bit. I'm going to go into reverse gear. And I'm gonna show the end of the Nigeria video instead. I was having a think about that. I was a bit worried for a moment that it might decide to cause me trouble. Okay, yeah. All right. So, right. So I'm gonna go from the point where I actually leave Nigeria. Okay. So here we go. If I get cut off for any reason, I might just get a copyright strike for showing my footage, because, you know, it's only footage that I filmed of myself. Why should I be able to play it on television or YouTube, as the case may be? So here we go. Let's delve in to this footage from my journey through Cameroon back in 2009, when I was actively trying to visit every country in the freaking world without flying. Just setting up the picture a little bit better there. I'll let the picture run, and then I'll appear in the bottom corner here in a moment. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. So here we are, going through the mangroves, the maze of mangroves. If it would play, there we go. Like I say, you're just gonna have to give me a minute until I can sort of appear on the screen for you, for your viewing delight. So there's a whole mangrove forest that lies between the Nigerian city of Calabar and the border with Cameroon.
Okay, we've officially crossed the border. We're now in Cameroon. It's country number 104. Yes.
Wow.
7 countries, 7 days. See you later.
Wow, 7 countries in 7 days. That's pretty good going. Through Africa. I was really powering along at this point. Hello.
A quiet moment. Oh, my ears are ringing. Oh, right. We've been on the boat for about an hour and a half now.
An hour and a half.
We've got another,
on a
15
boat.
minutes, you reckon?
Yes,
about 15 minutes to get to Cameroon. Oh, everyone's looking at me now. Everyone's looking at me. Until I put the camera out, the man ain't looking away.
Right, so skip that bit. Just gonna fix this up a little bit.
15 or 50? 15. 50?
Yes.
50?
Yes. 10, 10, 15.
Oh. went through a bit of a rainstorm as well, but.
So basically, I'm going to skip through this. This is just trying to get across into Cameroon.
It's quite exciting.
Oh, there you go. That's my first sight of Cameroon. It was a bunch of houses that were being knocked down. And then I crossed into the border. I remember having to wait at the border for ages to get in, and then when I finally got in, this is the state of the roads. Now in Cameroon, only about 10% of the roads are paved. A lot of them are mud tracks.
Okay, I got into Cameroon just by the skin of my teeth. Had some issues at the border there because my visa had expired. We got in touch with the embassy in London, the Cameroon embassy in London, and they said it would be fine, it'd be okay. Extend your visa at the border.
I love it when people say things are going to be okay.
Welcome to Africa. You can't extend it at the border. They wanted to send me back on that speedboat for another 2.5 hours back to Nigeria to go to Abuja and get a new visa, which would have taken me another week or so. So thank heavens he called his boss. His boss came in, said let the ginger fella in, sort of stamped me in.
I love this. I'm filming this on a motorbike without a helmet on. There you go. That's pretty good presenting on a mud track coming through Africa. You can see the state of the road, and I'm narrating my journey as I go. Oh, I wish I could have just put all this on YouTube at the time, but I wasn't allowed to. But here it is now, everybody. Here it is now. Oh yes, all the way to Gabon. Actually, I found the worst roads in the whole of Africa are to be found in Cameroon.
Okay. Sorry, what's your name again? Your name again?
Peter.
Sorry?
Peter.
Peter Graham. His name's Peter.
Peter? Yeah. And you're from Cameroon originally? You're from Nigeria.
Yeah, God. Listen to what people are saying. These potholes in the road. So this.
Guinea and Sierra Leone and Liberia.
Nope. The worst in Cameroon. I just remember this like going through.
Do you do this trip often? Is this like twice a day or something? You go along here to Kumba?
How many times?
How many times do you do this?
One time, once a day, and this is only to go about 30 miles. It's just.
An amphibious vehicle.
Right, so this is me, absolutely crammed. You can see how many people are in the taxi with me. Those people actually are sitting in the same bit as me, I think. Oh, here we go. Here's the road. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, come on. I've been to some Glastonburys that have been less muddy than this. And this is the main road. This is the main road if you're getting in from the southern border with Nigeria into Cameroon. The main road. There we go.
Toyota, breakfast of champions.
Right, don't know what the hell that was all about. Okay, so I'm going to nip to the next video along now, if you don't mind. And it's probably going to start with that Toyota, it is.
Right.
So here we go. This is where the fun begins. So watch the Toyota getting out of there. So it looks like this this truck oil tanker. Okay,
surprisingly has got stuck. So you know why someone would drive such a big truck through the jungle in the rainy season, I have no idea.
I'm such a twat. I'm sorry. I apologise. I apologise to everybody for my impeccable logic. Right, here we go.
The truck. There's a big ditch over here. The truck is over here.
Oh God.
Okay, we're skirting the ditch. We're going to go into the ditch. Oh.
We just slid sideways straight into the ditch.
Right, now we're not going anywhere.
We're all like this on the side. Oh my God. This is hilarious. Look at the state of this. Love it. So the whole side of that side of the car is up against the mud bank. Look at this. Oh my God. Right, so we're going to try and get this out of the mud, okay? And this is going to be up to the passengers to do. to get this car out of the mud.
Smartest move for the Batmobile to make Batman.
So basically, we're going to move the car. So they drive it along. There we go. There you go. He's turning the wheels there. They've managed to sort of slide it along the side of the 18-wheeler there. Sorry, I'll turn the sound down a bit because that's a bit annoying. Stevie G. So someone's asking me about Liverpool. I'm shouting Stevie G. So here we go. Come on, guys. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. They're literally pushing the car. This is so dangerous. Come on. Come on, my taxi. Come on, my beautiful taxi. He's just scraping the side. He's just scraping the... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is insane. He's done it. Look, they're pulling it. They're pulling it. Come on. This guy here, I mean, bloody hell, he's doing it. Go on, one last push. One last push. Well done, guys. He's clapping. Fantastic. Okay, so there we were with the DeLorean. And again, we've got to get past another truck. This is just insane. So this journey should have taken like, what, half an hour or something? And it ended up taking all day. It was well into the night time before I got to Douala, which is where I was heading. This guy's called Elvis.
See, places are so muddy.
Yeah.
It's just that because the country, we are feeling so bad.
Yeah.
You see, it's not really good. To go to Kumba is very, very difficult. Things are very, very,
Kumba
very hard.
is where we were heading
Pay a
to.
lot of transport. Pay 10,000 francs to go to Kumba.
Yeah.
From Monimba to Kumba.
But this is the main road, isn't it? From Nigeria into Cameroon. This is the main way to get in.
Wait, this is the main road. It's
The main road.
This is the main road.
This is the main road.
Wow. This is the
Look at the state of that!
This is the M1.
Yeah, which is too bad.
Yeah.
We pay a lot of transport.
Now, I
Transportation is
should
too
explain.
Yeah.
hard. So we really need the government to do something. Don't you see?
They want the
We are
government to
feeling
do
bad
something.
now.
I'm
Presently,
actually
I am
in
really feeling very bad.
Ambazonia at the
To Kumba,
moment
we
in
spend
this
10,000
footage.
francs on the road.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So this is
isn't it?
2009,
It's
and you
a
can
good
see
road,
the
it'll take
frustration with
20
people who just
minutes.
go, can we just have a
It will take
road?
20 minutes, but now it will take almost
Like,
2 days.
seriously, a
Even
single
1 day,
road,
6
even if it
hours
was just
time.
one
Now
road, you know,
it's
one
stuck,
lane one
they
way,
will
one
have
lane
to
the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you see? It's true now.
Yeah.
And this is why the people of the former southern
you okay for me to-
Cameroons feel like they're being discriminated against. He's just getting his release form there. Am I right to put this on the internet? Oh, this is great. So we had to get out the car.
Craziest thing I've ever done. Why didn't I bring some good walking shoes? Why did I think it would be alright to do this in skate shoes? Because I'm sitting on a bus all day, or a train. Oh, crikey.
I'm literally wearing Vans to go through the jungle.
See me into the jungle?
Yeah. Let's walk together.
I didn't think I'd come back out from this.
He's taking me into the jungle. Listen, they can still hear me scream from the road, you know.
I just said you can still hear me scream from the road, you know. He's like, don't worry, come follow me into the jungle. So we're going off the road here because we're going around from where the car's got to go. So we all had to get out the taxi. And we had, and by the way, it's pissing down with rain, as you might be able to hear on the microphone a little
Take care,
bit.
man.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah.
You right, okay? You right, me?
Yeah.
First me go up so go na enter motor. Put on there now.
This is night vision, that's why it's gone all weird and green.
You're bouncing over stuff and the driver's going. You've got this little in the car, man. I thought that was for keeping away vampires, but now I know. Now I know better.
Finally,
Flooded with mud.
got into Kumba
Right.
at ridiculous o'clock. And then I got this other taxi which took me to Douala. So I'm just sifting through the footage here because otherwise we'll be here all night.
Can I get back in?
It's 30 kilometers ahead.
30 kilometres! Oh, crikey, I can't walk 30 kilometres in this.
We are televising ourselves. Look at my feet. Oh, yeah, daddy. See my feet too. See? We are so dirty.
Everywhere is dirty.
30 kilometres away at this point.
The old knuckle. There you go.
So these lads, these young lads here, what they do is they just wait at the side of the road, and when a car gets stuck, they help push the car out the ditch, and then the driver gives them a tip for doing it, for helping them out, and this is how they make the money.
You shouldn't be making so much noise.
Yes. Just go there and stop it. They will give you my tango there.
My car needs you to help.
Okay.
My water bottle, you just need to stay to me. Oh, look at this.
I fell over in the mud.
Is it?
All those years of Glastonbury training, not falling over, came to naught.
You have been dead.
Yeah.
This way that I'm seeing.
No, I was told the road was really bad.
No, it's just.
They said it would take.
No, it's just because of the road.
Between 3 and 6 hours.
It's just because of the road.
Where were wild animals?
Don't
I
bother.
think they kept trying to stay away from the roads, to be honest with you.
This is a vehicle.
No. It's not mine.
So the vehicle is still behind.
Yeah.
So basically, at this point, there was a big slope that they needed to get up, and there needs a big run up. Everyone needs to get out the taxi, and we all need to walk around.
I've been in touch with my friend Yaz from Liverpool's brother, Val, who lives in Douala, which is the place I'm trying to get to tonight before it gets too late. It's currently... Oh, I was going to tell you what time it is, but my watch is covered in mud, so I can't actually see what time it is. But I think it's about 8 o'clock, or maybe 8:30, or maybe 9. Oh, I don't know. I'm in a sulk now because I'm covered in mud. Look at my watch. Look at it. Look at it.
The reality of travelling around the world on a shoestring on your own, on a mad mission that no one else has done before. just to see if it's possible.
Completely covered in mud. My ears, I've got mud in my eyes.
Oh, got a beer. There you go, that's
Right
good.
down to the stodgy warm beer. Get the food, man. Get the food.
Oh.
There's some sweet looking pork down here. This is like,
At least that, I hope it's pork.
vegetarian.
I think we're saying that was a vegetarian's nightmare.
Nice, thank you.
Accidental partridge there. Thumb up.
And a lot of mucks.
Right, so this is where we're staying. Val's place.
I think this is an actual mate of mine who lives in Liverpool. You can see my. There's nothing I can do.
So it's the family of one of my mates from Liverpool, actually. And it just does not stop raining. It just does not stop raining.
Okay, it's rainy season here in Cameroon. Great. Today I'm heading to the capital, Yaoundé, and now I'm meeting with Rocco the cameraman.
Stop moaning. You only have to walk 30 kilometres covered in mud.
Tonight we're going to get the overnight
Where's that all?
train up north to the northern part of the country. We'll be arriving there in the morning, about 11 o'clock. Then we'll be pressing on further north to the
Mud men,
border,
props to Johnny Vaughan.
Chad. Now, Chad is the most ridiculous name for a country I could possibly think of. It's like, you know, someone from an American high school. Hi, Chad.
Okay, Graham, stop talking. Let's skip this bit because he's talking too much. So, oh my God, it is really raining. When it rains in Cameroon, it really freaking rains. This is the kind of rain that we're going to have to put up with when we go to Ginger Island on a rainy day. It will rain like crazy. So,
I've got his number. Okay. Well, I've got his mobile number, so I could. He's the man with the plan. All day.
so heading over to
Hi.
the
Listen,
bus station.
I think we've come to see you, okay? But I don't know where you are.
This is me on the phone to Rocco, the cameraman
is
who's
what?
sent by Lonely Planet.
Sort out. Credit you. 155 hash.
Yeah, 155 and just
Hash. Like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's me trying to suss out the phones. My beautiful Nokia. I'd like to stress that I didn't, when I visited every country in the world without flying, I didn't actually have a smartphone. So, just so you know, Lonely Planet didn't want Rocco, the cameraman, traveling through Nigeria. So they flew him over from Benin to Cameroon while I overlanded it through Nigeria. Which was, yeah. I think all of this, though, when it was shown on the TV show, I think they just made a montage of, like, the difficulty of traveling through these countries. I think they shot through them quite quickly. I need to cut this down. I need to have some of these interviews and stuff because I was talking to local people and having a bit of a laugh, and it was good. So obviously you can see the cross hanging down from the it's a bus station with a roof. I'm really excited. I don't know what I'm talking about here. The area that I'm in there. So Douala, the city, is in the francophone part, so it's just over the border from Ambazonia. But there you go. This is.
These people
look at
here
this.
has been killed in an accident avec un choc, which I think means chocolate. I don't know how someone died through a chocolate accident.
Stop laughing, Graham. That's really insensitive. It actually means in a crash. It means in a crash. It means in a crash. It doesn't mean a death by chocolate. Although it does look like chalk, so it just made me laugh. Right. You gotta laugh. Oh, look, there's me. Rain all the way to Yaoundé, the capital. So this is coming into Yaoundé here. And then I got on a train. And the train took me up to the very north of the country to a place called Hang on. I'm going to read it out my book. Another Toyota. Is that the same one from the other day? I should check the license plate.
The party could last all night, or all day, or whatever. Hey, we should be able to get past. Yeah, we can do that. He's going past.
Hey.
Going up to
We're four-wheel drive, aren't we?
Nagundra.
That's one way of doing it.
That's where I was going to. It's written in my book.
You look strong here, very strong.
Right.
Oh,
the
hang on.
18-wheeler in front of us, surprisingly.
Sorry, the video's on a loop. It's just gone back in time. I wondered why it was back on a dirt track when I should have been on a train. But let's get back to the train, shall we? Right.
So, I've changed the front of my book so it says West Africa wins again. And I've changed this guy so now he's wearing sunglasses and he's making a little pop noise out of his little trumpet. I was going to draw a big willy, but Rocco said I wasn't allowed to.
So that's Rocco the cameraman.
So now he's wearing sunglasses and he's making...
Who's obviously more sensible than me. Not massively more sensible, a little bit more sensible. Really good travel buddy, actually. So right now we're in northern Cameroon. So this is North Cameroon, and obviously it stopped raining. And we're heading up into the Sahel. We're heading up into the deserty regions of Cameroon. And you see there's a lot of huts where people live. Roads aren't so bad here. Look, paved roads. This is the francophone part of the country. Paved roads. Not a coincidence. I don't think.
Say an advert for Coca-Cola.
Okay, that's me advertising Coca-Cola. If you ever saw the Odyssey series, anyway, the BBC publicity shot was taken in this restaurant by Rocco. There you go. That's me getting some food. I think it was mac and cheese.
Chad, an account.
Okay, this is going over the border into Chad.
This little river here marks the boundary between Cameroon and Chad. This river here, yes.
It's not even a river. It's nothing there.
Tree, isn't it? Let's go to Chad.
Let's go to Chad.
I guess.
Photos of biologist knows
There you go.
that in the French alphabet, Chad begins with a T. Yeah.
It's my little riff on
Jehovah
Indiana
beginning
Jones
with an
there.
I in the Last Crusade. Oh, never mind. Right,
Right, so you might notice the flag
T. I never knew that. But there you go. You
of
learn
Chad
something
is
every day.
exactly the same.
Of all the places to sit down and have a poo,
The flag of Chad is just the flag of France, but the middle section's yellow. Same as flag of Romania and Andorra and Moldova.
The people that you meet are crazy and lovely. These buses look more like kind of converted.
So that was a border hop over to Chad, so I could get a picture and a stamp in my passport and everything in Chad. Back into Cameroon.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And now we're heading to the border with the Central African Republic.
Now, he's reversing right into us. No.
Are you the driver?
I'll go take some. Goes up and Central African Republic. We don't know much about it. Do you know much about the Central African Republic?
Nothing.
And I haven't got my guidebook with me. I left it in Yondi, so I can't really tell you much about it. Other than it's called the Central African Republic, and no one knows really very much about it.
It used to be the Central African Empire.
Now from Graham's Dick Cam.
Okay, Graham, calm down. This is all the stuff that was cut out of the TV show for obvious reasons. Nice, real nice. Right, so we had another one of these really entertaining journeys. This is coming back down the country, so we went right up to the north to go up to, right up to sorry, my hand disappeared there. Right up to the north to get into Chad, and then we came down the country along the border to the Central African Republic in the east. And and this is what happened to the road. The road turned into a muddy track in a field, and we're actually in a minibus. We're not in a taxi, we're in a minibus.
Actually, Mark, I've got to say, this is a bit better than the road. The other road, it's less corrugated.
So it is better. Look at this guy driving through the jungle. This is not speeded up. This footage is not speeded up. He is driving at a good 30 miles an hour at this point.
Okay, this is... We're just...
And did he get stuck? Yes, he got stuck. Of course he got stuck. Great bit of driving though. There we go. I think this is where we got stuck. Seem to remember. I think we had to go. We all had to get out. I think we had to get out, and he had to like put his foot down and race as fast as he could. Get over it. Graham's Dick Cam. Sorry about that, Lee.
Don't drive a bus through a bog. That's what.
Oh my God! Okay, so that's not supposed to be like that. Whoopsies. Yeah. Oh my God! No! What are you doing? Standing on the back of that? It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall over. What are you? Are you crazy? Oh my God. I suppose you could just hop off the back if it was falling though.
Okay.
The whole thing's slipping sideways.
Now, let's see.
Oh, I see. We had to get off the bus, so the bus was lighter to go through the mud there. This is so much fun. I hope this is as entertaining for you as it is for me, scrubbing through my old footage. I'm just hoping there's nothing here that I really didn't want anyone to see, because we are broadcasting live. But yeah, some footage of someone getting some water out of a well there. No water pump. Lots of buses, lots of bush taxis, the occasional train. Right, so this is just me summing up the day. I think we stayed close by. Oh yeah, here we are.
That behind me to say.
Central African Republic.
Hello. Oh, hang on.
So crossed over the border, got my little shot saying I'm in the Central African Republic, and then headed back over. And then Rocco and I got arrested.
So we've had our egg butties, we've had our water.
Got kicked the like button. Thanks, Duke.
Okay, so we're still heading towards the capital. We're just having a little bit of a lunch break at the moment. I don't really have anything else to report. The road's been really good, and hopefully it'll stay like this all the way to the capital, but I think there's a stretch of unsealedness. which isn't a good sign.
Unsealed.
But hey ho,
unsealed roads.
let's go. I'm going to try and get 44 and get out of here.
Oh, I got arrested for this. I got arrested for this shot. I got arrested for taking that picture of that roundabout.
Right, I've just been arrested again.
Told you.
It's like the 17th time I've been arrested so far. People don't like people travelling around the world. It's a bad thing to do. And you deserve to be arrested every fucking day. Today I was arrested for filming a roundabout. In fact, this shot here, which I didn't know
that in.
is illegal in Cameroon to film a roundabout. So I was taken away to a police station where 3 police officers questioned me for about, how long? 20 minutes or something? 20 minutes, and basically screwed me out of €15, which was nice.
Okay.
Anyways, so after being arrested, yeah, but I was filming outside this pub, and 2 guys came out the pub, stenching of beer, and they were like, "We're policemen. Show us your passport." And I'm like, "Okay, here's a photocopy of my passport because you're not wearing any uniforms and you don't have any ID." And they said, "Oh no, we need to see passport. We need to see passport." And I'm like, "Okay, I've got a passport, but I'm not going to show you it until you show me some ID." So they show me some ID, which is their national identity card, which is a bit like someone showing me their passport and going, "I'm in the army, police, KGB, yeah." And I'm like, "No, that's a passport. Are you mad? Do you think I'm mad?" And then they wanted me to get into a taxi, and I was like, "2 claims as a policeman? Oh, hang on a second. Trouble? Yeah, there's some more illegal logging."
Big problem.
Sorry, I thought we had another illegal, sorry about that, I thought we had another checkpoint. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so these 2 plainclothes policemen tried to get me into a taxi, and I was like, "Oh, no, I'm definitely not getting into a taxi." Luckily, a police car went past, and I ran over and said, "Please, please stop, these guys are hassling me." And they went, "Ha ha ha ha, get into the back of this car, we're going to take you away and throw you in jail for being white." And I was like, "Well, that's not very nice." So I ran over, got Rocco, dragged his ass along, because I thought, well, if I'm going to jail, you know, I don't want to go on my own. So I may as well bring Rocco along with me, you know, and then he can be mother. Anyway, so we ran off to the local police station. And,
this stuff would never make it into the TV show.
They were horrible to us for a little bit, and then they said they wanted some money, and then they were nice to us, and smiled and laughed and said, "How good is Cameroon?" And I was thinking, yes, I'm going to recommend it to everyone who I hate.
Okay, so that's how I felt about Cameroon after being diddled out of, what, €25 by the police there. For filming a roundabout. Yeah, I was a little bit upset about that. I did find it a little bit oppressive, actually, because you get really, when you're travelling and you see another checkpoint come up, you feel like inside, you just feel your insides tighten. It's like, is this it? Is this the point where they're going to drag me away and put a bullet in the back of my head? And it's a real fear, you know. I seem to have filmed a lot of stuff at an angle. Look, don't get me wrong, Cameroon, beautiful country. It might rain a lot, but I mean, it makes everything very green.
To you. Alright. Just talk to me, alright?
Well, I think we had another run-in with the police on the way to Yonde. Sorry, the sound of the wind isn't particularly nice, is it?
Music. And they tend to sting for you in a bus passport. They eventually conceded that it was all in order, but they still wanted money anyway because I had inconvenienced them so much by, you know, them having to read my passport or something. I don't know.
This is me getting tapped for some more money. Oh, God.
No, it's in shot now.
We really had a lot of difficulties.
Hour. Okay. Fucking tits. Bollocks.
Tits bollocks.
Hopefully it won't cost me too much. I'll probably be eating food out of bins. Euros. And to make matters worse, I had already purchased one in London before I started. The plan was, find a boat this weekend, get on it, go over to Santorini, don't leave the port and come straight back. Now, I've got to leave the port because I need to get a visa for Gabon to re-enter the country. It's probably going to cost me another €70.
That's what I'm going to be eating out of bins. Spending all my money on bloody visas for everywhere.
Easy. Does anyone else think it's hilarious that on the thousand safer bill they have a picture of some people logging? Just to upset the environmentalists.
Illegal logging on it's actually on the banknotes. So I shouldn't laugh, but yeah.
Eventually, we'll be staying on the border tonight.
Okay, so this is going to the border with Equatorial Guinea. What are the good things about travelling through Cameroon? It does border a number of countries, all of which I wanted to visit, at least for a few hours. This is Vivian. This is Kamikaze. Say hello.
Hi. Think of me. Don't forget about me. You people always think of your good friend Vivian.
Yeah.
Africa, Cameroon.
Vivian, you get a mention in my book.
Across the border, and she also helped us get our passport stamped out without too much hassle.
Thank you, Vivian.
She's a bit of an Odyssey legend, so I'm going to take her photo now.
Oh. Well, I cut off.
I'm on the back of a motor taxi. I'm on the back of a motorbike heading towards the Gabon visa. Sorry, the Gabon border.
Take two.
So I'm on the back of another motorbike taxi. We're heading towards the border with Gabon. It's going to be country number 107. Come on, let's go.
Okay, so just give me a moment while I just change cameras, because I do think that is the end of the footage there of Cameroon, and that was just before I then tottered over the border into Gabon, which is a story for another day, I fear. But there we go. And if I just do that. Oh my God, there's a little tiny me. There's a little tiny me still in the corner. Hello, tiny frozen me. What are you doing there? Bye. There you go. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun. That was a little trip down memory lane. We actually trotted through, blimey, 2.5 hours of footage in the space of less than an hour. So that was pretty good. In about half an hour, we trotted through 2.5 hours worth of footage. We got through quite a lot there, which is cool. But that's Cameroon, so you got to see a little bit of Cameroon, a little bit of footage there. There was a little bit on the train. I wish I recorded more on the train. Actually, that was a train that went from Yaoundé right up to the centre of the country, really, but the central north of the country, Ngondere, and that's where we got a shared taxi over to the border with with Chad. That was fun, says Veg Pie. It's Graham's all the way down. That's very true, just like Discworld. So Pete says, try to dye the skin with mud, you might miss the controls. Pineapple Boy says, it's not a bribe. If you don't expect anything of value in return, it's a protection racket. Well, yes, it is. And people say to me still, they go, but Graham, these people aren't paid. And I'm like, damn right they're not paid. They don't do anything. They stand on the side of the road and demand money off people going past. That's not a job. That is literal highway robbery. That's what it is. They've got a gun. They ask for your money. You're not going to say no. If you're feeling a bit brave or maybe a bit drunk, you might haggle with them, but you're not going to say no. They've got a fucking gun. So, yes. But anyway, Veg Pie, £5 there for Graham to relive beer time in Cameroon. Thank you so much, Veg Pie. Really appreciate it. Makes the whole thing worthwhile. If I missed any super chats there on the way through, I'm very, very sorry. I don't think I missed any. But that's it for Cameroon for tonight. I'll be back on Thursday, possibly a bit earlier. Possibly a bit earlier than normal. But I'll be back on Thursday for another Hughes of the World, where we will be going to the amazing country once described as the USA and the UK had a baby and they abandoned it in the snow. Yeah, Canada. So I'll be back to talk about Canada on Thursday. If you want to watch my daily show, I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock, normal time, to do a show about news and politics that's going on and just general chat about anything. To be honest with you, I'm thinking of talking about pop culture a little bit and about movies and the situation with cinemas and stuff like that and music. Just because there doesn't seem to be very much going on at the moment, and every time I've turned on the news, it's all stuff about the Olympics, which is great, I guess, but not really something I can get really ranty about. Although it was funny today, if you watch the Daily Show, that my Daily Show, Hughes Round, I did think that ROC, I just saw the initials ROC, and I thought, that must stand for Republic of China, which I know because I've got stamps for it in my passport. is Taiwan. And so I was like, oh, Taiwan's doing well. And then people are writing in the comments, that's the Russian Olympic Committee, you tit. So I got Taiwan mixed up with Russia. Ugh, easy mistake to make. Patrick McCarthy says, for Tiny Graham. Oh, thank you. Maybe you should bring Tiny Graham back. Would you like me to bring him back? It's August, it's silly season. It is indeed, Adam. It is indeed. So, if you'd like to join us for a quick geography quiz, I don't know if we've got anything set up, but if we don't, like I say, I've got some trivial pursuit questions here. You can join us on the Discord server in a moment. I will just get that sorted for you and hope my computer doesn't give me the second blue screen of death of the evening. It's my fault. I've done that thing, where you've got your hard drive or your C drive on your computer, and you filled it up with crap, and you've only got a little bit left, and the bar that tells you how much you've got, how much you've used, turns red. Yeah, I'm in the red. So obviously, whatever needs to be transferred in memory and stuff like that is going. I'm freaking out. You've got all these programs open at once. Don't know what to do. Blue screen of death. What happened to the white van man? Says BMW Nasha. Sorry. I haven't spoken to Kieran for a while. I could give him a call, actually. That would be quite fun. Should I give him a call tomorrow? Tell you what, I'll put it on my phone. Tiny Graham, are you planning to create your own version of the broom cupboard with Gordon the Gopher character? That would be brilliant. Although, I mean, seriously though, think about it. Think about it for a moment. That wasn't Philip Schofield's hand, was it? So there was someone who for an hour every day had to crouch under the desk next to Philip Schofield and afterwards Andy Parker when it was Ed the Duck, but had to crouch and operate a little sock puppet, and that was, what a job. That's the sort of thing that if you like making up mad stories about the job that you did, you could say, yeah, I was the sock puppet for operator for Gordon the Gopher. Oh my God. And then he was on Saturdays, wasn't he, on Going Live? And that was a live show for 17 hours or something, or it seemed that long, on Saturday mornings. Oh my God. Wow. Thanks. Quiz tonight. I don't know any of the answers in advance, promise. Cool. Okay, so Discord is trying to give me a pop-up to tell me what's new. I don't care what's new. I would like to get the general chat up and then to invite people along. Right, the show is going to end in a few moments. So if you want to get a super chat in before the end to encourage me to make more of this stuff, please throw it in the pot right now. Otherwise, you won't be able to because you can't send me super chats on Discord, unfortunately. But here we go. And I'll put this into the chat for your viewing pleasure. I've worked with a woman who operated Roland Rat. Wow, that's really fascinating. What was Roland Rat's favourite song? There you go. That's our quiz. That's our quiz question. Answer in Discord in a moment when we go over there. What was Roland Rat's favourite song? And I'll give you a clue. He actually covered it. That's how much he liked it. He did a cover version, which actually did fairly all right in the charts because, it was the 80s and what you're going to Kajagoogoo do. Anyway, so I've just dropped in the link there for you all, and it's like little Frank Sidebottom, indeed. So I hope you enjoyed my little whistle-stop tour of the history and the culture and the geography of Cameroon. I barely, as always, feel like I've scratched the surface. Deeply fascinating country. Unfortunately, stuck in a bit of a problem at the moment with a dinosaur leader who will not quit, and also a separatist region that has arguable grievances with the government, but might not be going about dealing with those grievances in a manner that is actually going to make things better for the people who live in that region. So there you go. Lee Corn, Pink Bucket, says Lee Corn for £5 super chat. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Right, let's head over. Let's head over to Discord, shall we? And thanks for watching. I'll be back on Thursday with Hughes of the World Canada. And until then, fair winds and following seas, traveller.